Hello, my name's Briggs.
And I'm Ms Viggers, and we're Directors of Quench Arts. So we're going to talk now a little bit more about the Wavelength project structure. Now, it was probably an idea for you to think about the Wavelength project as having two elements really. The first element is the main community-based element of the programme, and we call that the core project. So for that element of the project, we take on 20 new young participants per year onto the programme. But we can also have young participants benefiting from previous years, because those participants can still access the project group sessions and the collaborative elements of the project. So we're going to talk about the structure of the main community-based core projects in a moment. We also offer bespoke project activity for inpatient settings at Ardingly Forensic Cams and at Birmingham Children's Hospital Parkview Clinic. So for those two settings, we offer them 10 sessions per year, and a session is a 3-hour session. And it's up to each setting how they want to use that time according to the interests of the children and young people within their care. Now we have found generally that those settings would like to have activities in the school holidays, because obviously in term time the inpatients on their wards do have some hospital school provision. But in the school holidays, they don't have much activity to engage them. So the more we can offer within the school holidays, the better for the setting, so that young people have something interesting to take part in. Now, I've already said that those sessions are 10 sessions of 3 hours, and it's up to the settings whether they want that to be 3 hours of group sessions, or whether they want to split that down into having one-to-one sessions for participants. If they want one-to-one sessions, we can work with 6 participants over the duration, and that's because we provide 2 music leaders per setting. So that means each music leader can work with 3 people for a 1-hour session each. What we have found also for the project is that actually some patients have been referred to the main community element of the programme from inpatient settings, potentially when they're nearing discharge, and that really helps a local young person with their transition from an inpatient setting back into the community, if we can establish some friendship networks and support networks before that young person is discharged, so there's some continuity in terms of engagement. And one positive outcome from the project is that both settings have actually funded independently additional sessions taking place in their settings, because they felt that young people have benefited so much from the project.
So now I'm going to talk about the Wavelength core sessions, and that's the community project and how we structure those. So these sessions happen on a 4-weekly basis. On week 1 we offer one-to-one sessions, and those one-to-one sessions are for an hour and 15 minutes for each young person. We have 2 music leaders working at the same time in different rooms, so that improves the chances of a collaborative working in the future, but also it promotes our non-lone working policy. Those one-to-one sessions, the young people themselves have complete control over the artistic direction of what they want to do in those sessions, but it is all around creative music making. It's not about doing covers, it's all about writing their own music. On week 2 we do group songwriting sessions, and this is where we focus mainly on writing lyrics, and they can be in different ways that we approach those. It could be using newspapers, it could be using ideas from the group, but they explore lots of different ways in which to write lyrics, and they also look at song structures and also vocals such as harmonies. In week 3 we do group music making sessions, which are our ensemble band sessions if you like, which is where we put the lyrics that we've written in week 2 to music, and that's where they learn arrangements and have the chance to go on different instruments if they like. What's important to say is at those sessions all 4 music leaders are there, so that the young person knows somebody really well, and that also there's a music leader there that knows them really well, which is really important to know their trigger points and also to know anything that they may feel anxious about. It helps them to settle into those group activities. And then week 4 we do a recording production session, and that's where we record the song that's been written as a group over the past couple of weeks, and the young people get the chance to actually learn a bit about music technology, about mixing, about mic placement, etc. All of those 4 weeks then go back to the beginning and rotate again. Now the group sessions themselves, each of those 3 weeks are 3 hours long, so there's plenty of chance to actually tweak and refine the music that's being written, and also time to socialise, which we also think is incredibly important.
The other thing to say that is in week 3 we actually have a family support worker provided from the Solihull Home Group to work with any parents and carers involved in the project who feel that they would benefit from some additional advice and support, and potentially signposting to other advice and support to help them really build their strategies for supporting children and young people with mental health conditions. And that's been a really, really positive thing that has come up in feedback from the project, that parents have actually had a chance to form their own network and to have some support alongside the project group sessions. And then of course at the end of that session they can come in and see the work that's been created in the group sessions, and see that young people do an informal performance. So that's been really positive motivation for all involved.
Just to summarise, like we said, we have 20 new members on the community programme each year, and in that first year they have their one-to-one sessions, and after that first year they can access all of the group activities in years after that. The delivery team consists of 4 project artists, and we do also have a shadow artist team. All of those 4 project artists attend the group music making sessions, and then they also work in monthly rotation to lead on the songwriting and the recording sessions. Some other important elements of the project structure are that we have young people working towards something tangible, so they contribute their tracks to a CD, and also they perform or have the opportunity to perform at a concert at the end of every year, and this is a great way for them to actually be recognised for the hard work that they've put into the project. Also, we offer project socials, and we feel that this is really important for the young people to actually form bonds outside of the project sessions so that real friendships are built. Just to give you a quick overview of what a typical group session might look like, we always start with warm-ups, icebreakers, introductions, settle everybody into the room. We might then split into groups to work on certain tasks. So for instance, if there's been some lyrics written the week before, we might have all the vocalists together working on the melodic line. There might be then a group of guitarists all together. There'll always be a break in the middle to make sure people have a drink and socialise, because that's an incredibly important part of the project, is to make friends and to make connections with other people. It might be then that they carry on working in their small groups, or that they come back and mix it up a little bit. And then we'll come back together into the group to collate all of those ideas together and to rehearse as a full band. And that's really exciting, to bring all those different instrumentation and vocal ideas together. And they get a chance to rehearse that, obviously. And then at the end of each session we share those musical ideas and the song that's been written so far to parents and carers who happen to be there. And we also do a little rough recording so people can remember it for next time. And that's a nice chance for them to get some immediate feedback from people that haven't been involved in the songwriting process. At the very end we do reflection, and that's often just going around the room, just kind of talking about what's gone well, anything that we'd change for next time. And then also a time for goodbyes, and again that important socialisation at the end of each session.
And what's really nice about the reflection is it gives people a chance to say what they've liked about contributions from each other, and particularly to identify any particular progression that's been made. So it might be that someone's given their very first musical idea to the project, or it might be that they've given their very first performance to family member or something, and that's generally picked up by the project team but also by other young people on the project, which means it's a really mutually supportive environment. But also we do give young people the opportunity to say what they would like to improve for next time, so it can be next steps, or it can be what didn't work so well, and they can either do that in the round as we go around the room and get in reflection, but we also provide opportunities for them to do that confidentially. So we've got a comments box, for example. So there's lots of different ways that young people can give feedback, but we try and get feedback from every single person involved in the group, so that it's something that everyone does as part of the process, because we think it's really important that young people also identify their own progression as well.
Obviously, Wavelength would not be possible without the support of some wonderful organisations who have funded the programme. And we'd like to take the opportunity to say a huge thank you to the following organisations.
Youth Music, who do so much to support musical inclusion across the country, and they've been our main project funder for the Wavelength project, and they really work hard to ensure that every single young person has the opportunity to experience music making and to be supported in their musical progression and their musical learning.
We'd also like to say a huge thank you to our match funders, Birmingham and Solihull Mental Health NHS Foundation Trust,
Birmingham Children's Hospital,
Birmingham Music Education Partnership,
the Clive and Sylvia charity,
the Grantham Yorke Trust,
and A Cadbury Charitable Trust.
Thank you to everybody for listening, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the seminar.